Hey everybody, we're back. It's episode 2 of the Nuggetcast. If you have never come across a Nuggetcast, you're probably like, what's a Nuggetcast?
Nuggetcast is our weekly look at our weekly paper. We come out every Wednesday with the print newspaper, and so this is our every Friday look at what was in this last paper, what we're going to do next week, just a little behind the scenes of how the paper gets made.
Right, it's pretty much the Nugget in podcast form. We're newspaper people, so we're kind of new at this. Last week, if you were here, if you tuned in, you can't just go back and check the first, so you know what's going on if you want to. But last week, it's the first podcast I ever did. So I had printed out my own fancy graphics that I thought were pretty fancy. I'm not an IT type guy, but I can work a printer, so I went and typed in Nuggetcast and then hit print, and so I had it ready to go. So I'd had my graphics ready, and then when we were watching it, I see a countdown that says countdown to real graphics. I'm like, what? We can do that? And it was Jake. Jake stayed up. How late did you stay up making real graphics?
That is off the record.
Did you go to sleep?
Yeah, maybe eventually.
Okay, so yeah, he made an awesome intro. That hey, cue the intro. Okay, we're back. So. That was really impressive. I didn't know that was going to happen, and so I did have my stack of papers that I was putting up for the camera.
Well, you don't have those this time?
No, but I want to present. Since you're so good at this, I want to present you with an award for your graphics making.
Oh,
it's
man!
A gold star.
I'm so honored. I appreciate
you have
this.
to put in later. Can you put this in?
I hope so.
Okay.
Oh man!
I'm gonna pet it. Make it sparkle.
It feels very Super Mario.
Right. All right, thank you for that. I did that. You have to stay up 3 more hours.
Probably now, yeah.
Okay.
But it's all good. You're paying me.
All right, so we're gonna start out with what we did last week is the NewSprint, which is a sprint through the news, and we have 1 minute to sum it all up. Our front page actually. So last week we didn't do so good, even though John gave us 20 more seconds. So we're gonna try it this time. John's back there with a timer. Mm-hmm. You can see him. Should I go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, if you want to go first.
Okay. Count us down.
Okay. Everybody ready? Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay,
the girls' basketball team just keeps on winning. They can't be defeated. And so they take the skybox this week because they took down White County and East Forsyth.
On a million games in a row. Up next we got Service Dog ready for middle school. There's a service dog at the middle school. So
all right, and so we also have the new free clinic coming from Community Helping Place that's dedicated in memory to Anne Green. That their new location is open and they're doing great things over there. So we have a story on that from Sharon Hall.
You might have noticed this weekend there was some snow. So we found some people enjoying the snow. I believe this was on the drill field. Is that right? At UMG, yes. And looks like some sledding action going on. So yeah, everybody enjoyed the snow.
Right, and then we also have Fire Song, a new band, which is going to take the stage in Canopy and Roots coming up on January 27th. Man, I lost my paper.
You're going to need that here. Oh, I have an extra one. It's almost like you're playing that.
So that was the front page. We didn't make it all the way through, but like we said last week, what does that mean?
There's just too much news. You can't quite sum up a whole nugget in 60 seconds.
That's why you have to buy it on newsstands. And then hopefully read it. It's only $1, you know? What is $1 these days?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Or you could just subscribe. It's almost like hitting that subscribe button down here. You should do that as well, but that's free. You can come in and hit the subscribe button on Shauna's desk. And
I have to install a subscribe button there.
Yeah, and then subscribe to the actual print paper, have it mailed to you, or you can just call.
Right.
Or do it online.
Or online too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, was there a story that you felt?
Well, yeah, we
deserves
were
more than
talking
60
about
seconds?
before, and I definitely think it's the top story of the week, which was written by Jake Cantrell right here. And he kind of put it together right before deadline, too. But you want to tell them about it?
Yeah, so like I said, service dog ready for middle school. There's a little more to it than that. So last Friday, so a week from today, there was it was the very first time that Baymax, Charlotte Sessions, diabetic alert dog. Gotta make sure I get all these acronyms right.
Yeah. That's a dad.
Yeah, a dad. Yeah, found out that that's a dad. Diabetic alert dog. So she was able to bring, through partnering with the middle school and they worked everything out. Baymax, their dog, their golden lab or yellow lab, was the first service dog to make an appearance or to be like a regular attendee of a Lumpkin County school every week.
Kinda like a student with a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Baymax is definitely the youngest of all the 7th graders at 2.5 years old. But in dog years, that might be pretty close to a 7th grade.
Right. And that was a good lead. What you said, at 2.5 years old, she's easily the youngest member of 7th grade. She's also the furriest. I thought that was a good lead.
Thanks. But yeah, and so she's going to be, slowly integrating her way into middle school life, and so that will help, if Charlotte were to have a whatever it is, when a decline or incline in blood sugar, I mean that's dangerous stuff. So
Baymax just knows.
Yeah,
I think one of the more impressive things, my dog Dobby, he's kind of like he's a mutt, like he's a mixed breed. He would, even if you could get close to training him to that, once he hit the lunchroom, I think it would all of his training would just be over. Like the square pizzas that they have there.
Right.
I just think, and the corn. Right.
Is Dobby a big corn dog?
Well, he just any kind of food he's a fan of.
Yeah.
So he would forget all his training then. So Baymax goes into school and somehow keeps his focus, and he's a dog. So I thought that's pretty cool.
And probably the hardest part of all is, not necessarily on his part or Charlotte's part for handling him, but it's just all the other middle schoolers. Right. I mean, you're not allowed to pet a service dog, and so so she actually made a presentation and kind of gave out, and nicer than this, but laid down the rules. Okay, you can't pet him and everything, and somehow they resist because I don't know. I mean, Baymax is pretty cute.
He's really cute.
I don't know how people are resisting, but the middle schoolers are handling that better than even us adults would.
Right.
So.
I have a hard time with that. I feel like you need to have another dog you could pet nearby, just to,
Maybe we can talk to Mr. Gerald's.
Right.
See if we can have that installed.
Dog.
But yeah, so that is our NewSprint.
Okay, so we talked about the front page, and usually that's what we spend a lot of time stressing out over what it looks like. A lot of times if you're driving by at 10 o'clock at night on Monday, we are all sitting, and John back there, we're sitting there trying to debate exactly what headline to write, and sometimes our headlines are really bad, and sometimes we're do we really want to make that headline? I don't know. But so besides that, the front page gets a lot of scrutiny, but there's other things deeper in the paper, and we want to point those out in a segment we call Read Between the Lines. I think graphics just happened, maybe. I don't know. Should I not promise that?
I don't know. This might...
I'm writing checks, so I can't. So, just looking through it here, along with you, I don't think a lot of people know that you can sign up for American tribal style belly dance classes at Parks and Rec.
Ooh,
that's happening now.
I did not know that.
You wouldn't know that if you just kind of skipped over page 11A, but that's a thing that happens. I mean, don't forget B either. People, especially this guy doesn't want you to forget B.
Yeah, don't forget
the B section.
Please don't forget
the sports teams.
Yeah, really, I mean, the sports section is really just like the kids that are doing the actual sports, and last week was a good week for sports, I think. Let's see, so, I mean, obviously, like we already said, the girls basketball team have won, I lost track, so I'm just going to say 2 million games in a row. Because that's pretty close to however many it is. Right. I mean, they've only lost one game the entire year, and that was so early on in the season. And I mean, and they just keep winning and winning.
And that was 2 million games ago.
And winning, yeah. So
right.
And then I mean, the wrestling team just barely missed out on a trip to state as a team, but upcoming a week and 1 day from the time that you see this, if you see it on Friday. But anyway, so next Saturday they will be in Lumpkin, and they'll be taking on their chance to go to state individually as individual wrestlers. So the second chance for them almost, and I'm just kind of glad that it's in Lumpkin County, because last week it was 2.5 hours away in Harlem, Georgia. I don't know if you've ever heard of Harlem, Georgia, but I had not before then. And my truck isn't always the best because it's just from the Bush administration. So
wait, W or
yeah.
HW?
No, just W.
Okay.
No, that's 2003.
Yeah,
2003.
Okay.
But yeah, and so it's just doing its best, and very beloved truck. And so I was driving on my way to the wrestling meet, and I hear a scrape, and that's not what you want to hear when you're driving. And so I pull over, and my whole exhaust pipe is just dragging the ground basically, and I'm still an hour away from the wrestling meet at that point. It was not a good situation, but basically I was just like, all right, well, I have to get there, so I just tied it up with a rope, and it looks really not good.
MacGyverish, maybe.
You're giving me a lot of credit there. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, but so I'm still working on getting that fixed, but yeah, so happy to have sports at home this week.
Right.
Plenty of sports at home. If you're watching this and it's Friday morning when we first put this out, you can come to Alumni Night at Lumpkin County High School tonight, where both basketball teams will be playing and celebrating their alumni. So if you once played basketball in Lumpkin County and you'd like to come and be celebrated, show up to the Longhouse tonight.
Maybe this is for another week, but I feel like our girls basketball team is so good they need a nickname. Do they not have a nickname? They seem good enough to have a nickname. So if you can make some suggestions in the comments, and maybe that'll be a segment we do in the future, because they are good enough to where they need some type of intimidating nickname. Because they've won 2 million games, according to our statistician, Jake here.
Yeah, I mean, give or take 1 or 2, because I'm not able to be at every single game, so it might be 2,000,004 or something. I don't know. Oh, man.
Sorry.
It's all good. All right, so now it's time for everyone's favorite section.
Crime time.
Crime time.
And actually, I'm not going to discourage you from reading the crime reports this week. There's a lot of where unfortunate things happen to people, and we don't want to seem like we're making fun of them or anything.
Right.
So we're going back to the archives this week. What do the archives look like?
This big old giant book.
This is not all the archives. This is
just very specifically January
of 2015.
Yeah, January through April.
So this week's edition is January 19th, 2022. We're going back to the last January 19th, right?
Well,
is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so today, the day that the Nuggetcast comes out, Friday, January 21st. So if you go back to 2015.
Okay, we're going by Nuggetcast dates.
Yeah, so if you go to this day in history, we published a paper in 2015 on January 21st.
Right.
And so we kind of just hopped back to those crime reports.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite
I
one?
do have a favorite. It goes right to, I think I'm getting the best one right out the gate here. But on January 11th, a man said someone threw a beer bottle full of solid ice through his front window while he was having a birthday party. I don't know if
That's just rude.
I don't know if that's like is that a good party or is that a bad party?
Did that improve the party?
Does that improve? It might. It might actually. So yeah, not that I'm inviting anyone to do that on my birthday, but it would be a great story going forward.
October 4th, is that right?
No, yeah, 10-4.
Yeah, everybody just come to... I'm going to read your address right now.
And they're going to wind up in the crime reports, but they still.
Alright, well, I might have topped you there, I feel like. Because
read further into this.
Because on January 12th, 2015, a woman said someone smeared ketchup, mayonnaise, vegetable oil, and chocolate milk on the side of her house. And that's just like the grossest combination of condiments I can imagine.
It's a weird assortment of condiments.
Like, how do you even... that just seems like... I don't know. Whoever thought of doing that was not a fun prank.
I don't know if they were ever arrested. The real criminal might still be out there. That's a cold case. So if you know.
Oh gosh. So if someone's out there on the loose and you smell a combination of ketchup, mayonnaise, vegetable oil, chocolate, milk, beware, because the side of your house might be getting smeared.
Get struck again, like 7 years later. But so that was Crime Time.
Close the book on Crime Time.
So we're winding down. Oh yeah, I'm like really closing the book. We're winding down on Nuggetcast, but last week before we signed off, we said go ahead and leave us some comments, and I made a special request that you usually don't hear on the internet. I was like, hey, just say some nice stuff, and really, if everyone would have said bad things, then we probably wouldn't be back here for week 2.
I don't know if we should say that. It's not that easy to cancel us.
We can't be that easily.
We don't want to encourage that.
But that's what happened. Like the internet was very nice to us over the week, and I want to be nice to the people that were nice to us. So this is a segment that I just kind of made up, like right before we started rolling. And it's called the honor roll. And these are the people that said nice things to us. Nice comments. We got a lot of likes, which is great, but some people went out of their way to actually type words onto their keyboard on the internet that were nice, and that's good. So I'm just gonna mention these honorable mentions.
It's a big list.
It is, yeah. I know. I'm gonna start at the top, and I won't do last names because I don't know if we want to get into that kind of business. But we have Heather, Judy, Casey, Katie. I may be married to Katie, but still, it's legitimate. Quentin from, I went to elementary school with Quentin, and he went out of his way to say nice things. Jim, Lindsay, Jody, Daryl, Vicky, Brad, Melissa, Nancy, and Tucker. You all said very nice things, and thank you. So going forward, when we're gonna try and keep the internet good feelings going. So if you say good things about us, we'll say good things about you. And there's plenty of room on this honor roll here. I just started up here, so we got a little room. So thanks, and thanks for watching, and thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, and so if you did like it, hit that like button. Smash that subscribe, as they say, or you can just hit it gently. I don't know why YouTubers always insist on smashing it, but and make sure you subscribe so that way you can keep joining us here every Friday morning at 9. This will be posted, and then so if you want to just go find us then, and then we'll obviously share it out later throughout the day. But yeah, so you can join us every week at Friday for the Nuggetcast.
All right, thanks guys.